Have you ever noticed the strange sounds and acts of boiling water in a kettle in the morning? In physics, we call that a phase transition, a dramatic shift from one state of matter to another, from liquid to steam. But what if I told you that a recurrent neural network, a specific architect of artificial neural networks designed for processing sequences of data, can undergo a phase transition, just like boiling water? Could phase transitions be the key to understanding deep learning? In this video, we're going to show that neural networks can be investigated using the same physics that governs a collection of magnets called spins. We'll explore how artificial neural networks exhibit phase transitions, what this means for deep learning, and how physics can help us design winning designs for artificial neural networks. Neural networks often seem like black boxes. Data goes in, predictions come out, but what really happens inside? The interpretability of these models remains one of the biggest unsolved challenges in AI. How can we make sense of what's going on? One approach is to dive deeper into their probability distributions and energy landscapes. Surprisingly, the activation of a single neuron follows a probability distribution that is identical to that of a simple binary magnet, a system physicists call a spin. When we scale this up to an entire neural network, the probabilities of different network states become mathematically equivalent to a certain collection of physical binary magnets or spins. To understand this, imagine each neuron as a tiny magnet. Just as magnets interact to form large-scale patterns, neurons in deep neural networks interact and form structured representations. But this raises fascinating questions. Can we use these analogies with physics to mathematically understand neural networks? What exactly does it mean when a recurrent neural network shifts its phase, just like water turning to steam? Even more intriguingly, can we use physics to predict if an RNN will explode? And if so, can we reverse engineer a stable, controllable neural network, one that could even replace today's most advanced AI models, like the transformers used in ChatGPT? If you are interested, stay tuned. A neuron in an artificial neural network can either be active or inactive. Similarly, in physics, there's a simple binary magnet called a spin. A spin can either have its north pole up or down, and we simply say the spin is up or spin is down. Here's what's fascinating. The probability of a neuron being active or inactive has the exact same mathematical form as the probability of a spin being up or down. For this mathematical equivalence to hold perfectly, we need to make one key interpretation. The total input to a neuron, determined by the weights of its connections and biases, should correspond to the negative of the inverse temperature in the spin system. We have discussed the details in a previous video on this channel. If you're interested in the details, check out this video. Now, let's take this a step further. If we start from the probability of a single neuron, we can build up to the probability distribution of an entire artificial neural network. Again, we've already derived this in another video on this channel, showing that a simple feed-forward neural network has the same probability distribution as a well-known model of a collection of spins in statistical physics called the Ising model. The Ising model describes a system of interacting binary spins, where each spin is influenced by its neighbors. In this video, we are going to investigate a more complex neural network architecture called recurrent neural networks, or RNNs for short. Unlike feed-forward neural networks, where information moves in one direction, from input to output, RNNs have loops. This means they can store information from previous steps and use it in future calculations. In a recurrent neural network, the hidden neurons not only receive input from the input layer, but also from themselves in one time step before. Think of it like remembering the words in a sentence while reading. It's not just about the current word, but also the words that came before it. This makes RNNs especially useful for tasks involving sequences, like speech recognition, language modeling, and time series prediction. This feedback loop in RNNs creates complex behaviors that can be studied using statistical mechanics. Let's explore what this means. In the same way that we derived the probability distribution of a feed-forward neural network and showed its equivalence with a particular collection of spins in physics, we can do the same for recurrent neural networks. After a straightforward calculation, we arrive at the following equation for the distribution function of an RNN. Let's break down the different variables in this equation. Here, t represents time, and capital T refers to the current time. S represents the hidden neurons, Y is the output neuron, and X refers to the input neurons. The parameters B correspond to the biases, while W represents the weights of the connections between neurons. To link with physics, let's now make an assumption. The system stays long enough in each time t, such that it reaches an equilibrium for a while before it transits to the next time step. That means, for example, if the input data is from the stock market's annual factors, we use the probability equation during the mid-year months when the system has reached equilibrium. Now, here's where it gets interesting. RNNs are mathematically equivalent to a certain collection of spins in physics. This means that there is a spin system with a particular type of energy, whose probability distribution at a given time, T, matches the probability distribution of RNNs. The mathematics remains exactly the same, but the interpretation of the variables changes. What we call neurons in deep learning corresponds to magnets with up or down states, known as spins in physics. The bias in a neural network acts like an external magnetic field, and the weights of the network represent the interactions between magnets. In a canonical ensemble, the argument of the exponential in the probability function is simply the negative of the system's energy. Since we already know the probability distribution of RNNs, we can take the argument of its exponential to be equal to negative of the energy of the equivalent spin system in physics. Looking at this equation, we can see that the state of the spins in the past contributes to the energy of the system at the present. We can simulate this spin system using the Metropolis algorithm, a method widely used in physics and data science to model statistical systems with a known probability function. If you'd like to learn more about this method, check out this video. Here's how we proceed. First, we need a sequence-like data set. We can, for example, choose to work with the stock market data. However, to avoid the noise and complexity of real stock market data, we generate pseudo-data that resembles stock market behavior. This data set is then fed into the input layer of our neural network. In the spin system, this input can be interpreted as an additional external magnetic field, acting alongside the one introduced by the bias term. Next, we need to fix the free parameters. In neural networks, these parameters are determined through training algorithms that minimize error. In physics, they are usually obtained through direct measurement or simply assumed. For simplicity, we assume their values but later show that our conclusions do not depend on these assumptions. We verify this by changing the assumed values and checking if our results still hold. At this point, we implement the energy function of the spin system that we derived earlier from the probability distribution of the recurrent neural network. We then use the Metropolis algorithm to simulate the system over time. We run these simulations for time steps ranging from ET equal to 1 to t equal to 200, increasing in increments of 1. At each time step, we generate 5,000 different configurations of the spin system. As explained earlier, these configurations are obtained using the Metropolis algorithm after implementing the energy function. For each configuration, we calculate the magnetization of the spin system. This is simply the average of all spin states in a given configuration. If a spin is up, meaning the north pole of the magnet points up, we assign it a value of +1. If the spin is down, meaning the north pole is pointing downward, we assign it a value of -1. The magnetization value as the average of these positive and negative ones, therefore, falls between -1 and 1. If it is 0, this means the spins are randomly oriented, showing no overall alignment. In extreme cases, if the magnetization is close to +1 or -1, the system is in a ferromagnetic state, where spins are highly aligned. By tracking how magnetization evolves over time, we can uncover deep insights about how the recurrent neural network behaves and whether it undergoes a phase transition. In this plot, you can see the energy of the spin system on the y-axis, the magnetization on the x-axis, and time represented by color, where yellow corresponds to ETE equal to 200 and purple corresponds to TE equal to 0. First, notice that energy and time are linearly dependent. As time progresses, energy continues to decrease, moving further into the negative direction. The trend shows no sign of stopping, which suggests that the energy might eventually diverge to negative infinity. In machine learning literature, a similar issue is known to exist for RNNs, known as the exploding or vanishing gradient problem. Whether that problem is directly related to this exploding energy requires another investigation, but surely they both originated due to the feedback that hidden neurons receive from their past. A striking observation is that at t equals 0, there are 4 distinct magnetization values that are most likely to occur. However, around t equals 50, these 4 preferred magnetization values suddenly reduce to just 2. Not only that, but their positions on the x-axis shift. To understand why this happens, let's go back to the probability distribution. Using the Landau approach, we define magnetization as a macroscopic variable, a technique similar to feature engineering in machine learning. When we reframe the probability distribution in terms of this new variable, we obtain a function known as effective free energy, denoted as F. The minima of the effective free energy correspond to the maxima of the probability distribution, meaning the system naturally settles at these minima. From the plot, we can see that at t equals 0, there are 4 such minima. But as time progresses, the number of minima reduces from 4 to 2, and their locations shift along the x-axis. This is exactly what we call a phase transition in physics, the same fundamental process that occurs when water turns to steam or ice melts into liquid due to heating. The phase transition in this system suggests that the recurrent neural network undergoes a fundamental change in its behavior over time. To ensure that this result does not depend on our initial assumptions about the free parameters of the system, we repeat the analysis with different sets of parameters. These sets vary in how we assign values to the external magnetic field, which corresponds to bias in deep neural networks, and also on the spin interactions, which correspond to the weights of the connections in the neural network. In one case, we even assigned random values to the parameters. For different sets of parameters, the magnetization values at which the minima occur change, as well as their signs and locations. However, the key result remains unchanged. The number of minima always decreases from 4 to 2, and the locations of these minima shift over time. This strongly suggests that the observed phase transition is a fundamental property of the system, rather than an artifact of specific parameter choices.
If you would like to dive deeper into the probability distribution behind RNNs and reproduce the results from this video, check out the link in the description below. Phase transitions are deeply connected to symmetries. In physics, when a system undergoes a phase transition, it often means that a symmetry is being broken. For example, in a system of spins at high temperatures, the spins are randomly oriented, and the system is symmetric. In other words, no particular direction is preferred. But when the temperature drops below a critical point, the spins align, breaking the symmetry because now there is a preferred direction in the system. This leads to the appearance of a strong magnetic field. In the case of neural networks, we see a similar phenomenon. The effective free energy landscape changes over time, reducing the number of stable states from 4 to 2. This suggests that the system spontaneously organizes itself, selecting specific states over others. This connection between symmetry and phase transitions can potentially provide a powerful tool for analyzing deep learning architectures. Instead of brute force training for months on massive datasets, spending enormous amounts of time and money, we can leverage symmetry principles to infer key properties of neural networks before training even begins. This could optimize architecture selection, reduce computational costs, and even offer new insights into why certain architectures work better than others. One fascinating study that we leave for future works is to examine how effective free energy landscape evolves in an RNN trained conventionally on a real dataset. Will we see a similar phase transition occur? I hope you have enjoyed this video. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.